I attended the Big Picture right before my junior year of high school, when I was just kind of beginning to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and I was kind of curious about what the program was really about. And so when I went, it was just a really cool experience where I began to see and understand the plans that God had for my life, and I was challenged to really just open myself up to the plans that He had for me versus kind of clinging on to the plans that I had for myself. When I started my time at Milligan, I was dead set on being a kindergarten teacher. That's what I had dreamed of doing my whole life, just spending time with kids and teaching them and being a part of that, beginning formation in their life. But over the course of my time at Milligan, and after serving as a counselor for the Big Picture after my freshman year of college, God really began to just stir up in me a passion and a desire to be a children's minister. And that discerning process was long. It wasn't just an overnight, immediately I knew that that was what I was supposed to do kind of process. But it took some time and some trying things out before I really knew that children's ministry was my calling. Right now, I have just finished my second year of seminary, which is crazy and something I never thought that God would ever call me to. But it's just been a cool process as God has kind of continued to call me to more education, to be a better minister. I'm also a children's minister here in the area. I've been serving at Grace Fellowship Church for the last almost 4 years now as their elementary minister, and I love my job. It's the best job on the planet, and I get to feed into over 250 kids and their families and about 75 volunteers, just teaching them about who God has made them and what He has for them, and just the cool plans that He has for their life. During my time at Big Picture, we practiced a lot of different spiritual disciplines, and one of the things that we practiced through that week was just an hour of complete silence. And I remember walking out next to Milligan's baseball field and just sitting on a curb for an hour and just kind of pushing every other thought out of my mind and just focusing on the Lord and the plans that He had for me. And it was one of those just defining moments where I set aside everything else and just really focused on the Lord and what He had before me, and just really felt Him moving and leading in my life and helping me understand that He had created me with a purpose, and that He was leading and developing me into a minister. I would say some of the most meaningful relationships that I still have in ministry were connections that I made from Big Picture way back when. Curtis Buer and Dave Robinson and Phyllis have all played a huge role in my life, in my discerning process into becoming a minister. They were the ones who really just took the time to have those conversations where I just kind of started bouncing ideas off of just to see what ministry was really like and what they saw in me. And the best advice that I could give you as a student who's walked through the program is to just be open to what God is going to do through you in the course of this week. I remember that I was terrified of the call that God had on my life because it involved changing my plans. It involved refocusing the patterns and the things that I held as important in my own life. And so my advice to you is just to be not afraid of that, but to kind of embrace it, because the call that God has on your life is so much bigger and so much better than anything that I could have ever dreamed of or that you could ever dream of.